Imagine a perfectly flawless, like completely limitless being trying to interact with you. But you're incredibly limited. The sheer force of that absolute perfection would just instantly overwhelm and obliterate you, right? So how does a flawed universe actually survive its perfect creator? Welcome to today's deep dive crafted just for you. Today, we're exploring Abraham Greenbaum's 2005 translation of a deeply mystical, Kabbalistic text called Klach Pitchei Chochma 27. The mission here is to decode this dense, ancient, philosophical architecture. Okay, let's unpack this.
Right. So to understand how this whole dynamic works, the text sets up these two opposing forces. The first one is Ein Sof, which translates to the unlimited.
Okay.
Think of it as absolute intrinsic perfection. It's often referred to as the primordial light. But here's the massive catch. If everywhere is completely filled with absolute perfection, there's just no room for anything else to exist.
Right, because perfection takes up everything.
Exactly. So to create our reality, that light had to purposefully pull back or withdraw.
I mean, I have to be honest, I'm already a little tripped up. When you say the light withdrew, did it just leave like an empty void behind?
Well, not entirely empty. The text says it left behind something called the residue. So when the light pulled back, it left this trace of itself, forming the root of all limited physical creation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the text uses an analogy here. It compares this residue to a physical body, which is inherently limited and dependent, while the unlimited acts as the soul that governs it.
Wait, I was thinking about this like a software engineer writing perfect code for an outdated operating system.
Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it.
But an outdated OS implies a mistake, right? If the light intentionally withdrew, the limitations aren't a bug, they're a feature.
Yes, exactly.
It's almost more like a step-down transformer on a power line. The power plant generates this massive voltage, absolute perfection, but if you plug your toaster directly into it, your toaster explodes.
Right.
The transformer intentionally limits the power so the appliance can actually function.
That is a much better way to frame it. The limitations of the residue are deliberately designed to receive the unlimited without being destroyed by it.
But if the system is designed to heavily throttle that massive power, how does the unlimited actually send its influence through without causing an overload? Like, there has to be a safe conduit.
There is. The text calls it the line, or the channel. It's described as a single ray of light descending from the unlimited into the hollow cavity of the residue.
Let me stop you right there. Hollow cavity. Are we talking about physical space here, like a massive cosmic cavern?
It sounds spatial, I know, but it is really a conceptual vacuum.
Ah, okay, got it.
It is the space devoid of that absolute perfection created when the light withdrew. The line is this highly controlled, singular connection beaming right into that vacuum. And the text notes something super striking here. The unlimited governs this residue, much like an axe in the hand of the hewer.
An axe in the hand of a hewer. That sounds, I don't know, kind of violent. It implies force, striking, carving something away.
It does imply that, but it really represents meticulous intention.
Hmm.
The action of the hewer swinging the axe is completely flawless.
Okay.
But down here in the residue, we only feel the impact, those sharp strikes, within our strict limits. The intention is perfect, even if the blow itself hurts.
So, if you have ever wondered why life feels like a constant uphill struggle, this text essentially argues that the struggle is a deliberate design choice.
Exactly. It explains why we don't just exist in instant paradise. The text states these limitations exist so that we can exist on graded levels.
Graded levels, like stages.
Yeah, it includes a 6,000-year cycle of reward and punishment. If we were exposed to the unlimited all at once, we would lose our individual existence. This throttled system allows us to gradually absorb perfection step by step without being obliterated.
So we are being safely guided through the friction. And according to the text, this has a specific destination, right? It describes a shift from our current reality, which it calls the form of address, back to something called the name.
Right, which is a state of ultimate perfect rest.
But why use the phrase form of address? How does that even represent limitation?
Well, think about what it actually means to address someone. It requires distance. It requires a speaker and a listener who are fundamentally separate from each other.
Oh, I see.
That separation is our current flawed reality. The name, however, implies an absolute unified essence with zero separation. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it means all the worldly damage and friction we experience are totally temporary. The entire system is slowly turning, destined for complete correction back to that unified state.
Which leaves you with a final thought to mull over today. If absolute perfection is actively shaping our flawed reality like a hewer wielding an axe, Could it be that our deepest personal moments of pain and friction aren't actually brokenness?
Hmm, that is a powerful thought.
Right? What if they are actually the precise, necessary strikes of that cosmic axe carving us into our final form?